Hello, David Zritsky for the Bond Experience. Welcome back. That quote you saw at the beginning was from none other than Billie Eilish. Yes, we have confirmation from Eon that Billie Eilish is going to be the singer for the song from No Time to Die. We don't know what the song is going to be called, what it's going to sound like, but now that we know who the artist is, this is big news and it's worth us talking about. I mean, first we had confirmation that Hans Zimmer was doing this soundtrack. We've got a great video up with John Williams that talks about that. But now this news about Billie Eilish. And what's amazing about this is I got to reflect on a moment for you that this news about Hans Zimmer, for example, wasn't broken by the AP wires or by Eon. It was broken by James Bond Radio that talked about Dan Romer being dismissed. And then all of a sudden Hans Zimmer coming on board, and then we got confirmation. Well, this time MI6 HQ, MI6 Forums, they basically broke the news on Billie Eilish, and then we had confirmation. So this whole idea of getting our Bond news from fans is pretty remarkable nowadays. It's definitely a new age. In fact, I reflect on the Billie Eilish news and I think about this past summer when I had a live stream and I was sitting with my son Ellis and I said, wish list, who's on the top? If you could pick one songwriter and singer for No Time to Die, who would you pick?
Billie Eilish.
Oh my gosh. What are you doing here?
I heard her name and I just appeared.
You're like Beetlejuice. I just
am.
say your name and then you
Yes.
come up. We'll move up a little bit forward or else you're going to look like really, really small to me. So, all right. You this summer had actually said Billie Eilish.
I did.
Now why?
She's incredibly talented.
Yeah.
I love her sound. It's super unique. And, in my opinion, so take this with a grain of
Yeah,
salt.
of course.
We haven't had a really, truly unique Bond song since Adele. So I was so ready for something unique, new.
Yeah.
And obviously she writes all her own music with her brother. So it's going to sound really cool.
Okay, so, well, fair balance. I'm actually really glad that you're here because as a Billie Eilish fan and also somebody that isn't in their 50s like I am, because it's interesting, Billie Eilish, we've got to talk about this for a second. She had about 46 million Instagram followers. This morning when I checked, she had 49, which probably means that 3 million 50-year-olds suddenly liked her on Instagram.
They discovered her.
They discovered her, and we're all, look, a couple days ago, I didn't really know who Billie Eilish was or her music. You actually sent me a couple songs and said, hey, to get to know Billie Eilish, check out these songs. And you picked, for example, a song called Lovely.
Yep. That was a collaborative song between her and another artist.
Okay.
And I thought that in a certain context, that could actually be a Bond song. I mean, I could just envision, the slow moving images in my mind.
Right.
That and definitely Ocean Eyes, which
Yes.
was one of her first songs ever released.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I think it's a classic.
And by the way, take note, because if you haven't heard Billie Eilish, I agree. I think Lovely and Ocean Eyes, out of all the ones I heard, stand out. It's not that it's overtly a Bond song. I don't listen to it and go, damn it, you could put that right over. But to me, if you put up a big orchestra behind it and put some sweeping tunes and her voice, that can be a Bond song in there. And then Bad Guy.
Bad Guy is one of her most, I think it is the most popular Billie Eilish song.
Yeah. Crazy video, by the way. If you watch the video, the Bad Guy thing is very funny. But I listened to it. That to me is almost like a Chris Cornell,
Oh, yeah.
You Know My Name type of like heavy beat and things like that. To me, that is almost as close to anything else. But again, full transparency, I was listening to her thinking like, all right, she's kind of whispering some of the tunes and this low voice. It wasn't until, and I want to give credit where credit's due, it wasn't until a gentleman named Bobby Morelli, who's an influencer online called Matched Perfectly. He and his wife do a lot of lifestyle pictures and videos. He sent me something. It was Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas.
Yes.
Is that it? Live on Howard Stern doing After the Party Is Over. Holy cow, is she talented.
Yeah, to anybody who's ever said Billie Eilish is not talented, they need to listen to her unplugged. I mean, it's really incredible. And she just turned 18.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, I mean, she's super young.
Super young.
She started when she was, I believe, like 14. I mean, started from birth, obviously, but
Yeah, she self-promoted and even self-addressed her music. Like she and her brother write 50-50. They write the music, don't they?
Yes.
And the
Together.
lyrics. So do you suspect that maybe she wrote the music and the lyrics to the new Bond song?
Well, in the post, I think she had mentioned that she had just gotten done writing it with her brother.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. She did say that.
So I hope that that's true.
Yes.
Because I mean, some of the things that they come up with, even so she's young, I mean, the lyrics are anyone can relate to them. I mean, they're really mature and wise for her age.
Let's hope so. I mean, here's the great news. I loved the quotes from both of them because they have so much respect for the franchise. I mean, they say it's an honor for them. You know, they're not taking it for granted. What I love about this is that if Hans Zimmer jumped on board and Billie Eilish, I'm hoping what we get from Hans Zimmer is the inclusion of Billie Eilish's sound in the soundtrack. Like we haven't had that since like Live and Let Die, when Paul McCartney had Live and Let Die, and it was embedded into the soundtrack. So I'm hoping the two of them are collaborating together.
That would be very cool. Yeah.
All right, I've got to talk about something too, because one of the other reasons I was glad that you mysteriously jumped into this video is because your age group, when you hear that Billie Eilish is doing the title song, do you think this is going to help your age group think about, well, maybe I'll show up to a James Bond film?
I don't think it's my age group. I think it's actually the generation below me.
Oh.
Yeah, because Billie is super popular.
Remind people how old you are.
Oh, sorry. I'm technically a millennial, so I'm 24.
Right.
As of a few days ago.
Right.
And I think that Generation Z, the one below me, I think they might actually be interested now. Because my generation, I think that there is a bit of respect there already for James Bond and the franchise. But you know, this is even building in now to Generation Z.
Yes.
So sorry if that's bad news for anybody.
So if you were, well, listen, everybody's going to have an opinion. Some people have already weighed in. I've actually seen people weigh in without even listening to her, just because of her age. So you're going to have the whole gamut. That's the wonderful thing about the Bond community. It's like any community, you've got all of these opinions. My question for you is, what's your speculation that Eon said to themselves from a marketing standpoint, we need to get young butts in seats? Billie Eilish. Now, she's talented. They had to work from a talent base first. Oh, yeah. But how much do you think was them making that final decision?
I'd say 50-50. I mean, 50%, you know, they probably heard her music or someone that they know who's younger is a fan of their music. And they were like, hey, kind of like what I said, Billie. I mean, it's, again, unique sound. I can't really place her in a category like I was telling you. I was like, she's not quite pop. She's like a little melodic. She does like some indie stuff in there too. So it's kind of hard to place her in a category. Yeah. And that's what makes it so unique.
And you told me one of the things you liked, and I heard probably 8 of her songs. You know, I just named the ones that I liked the best out of the ones you gave me, but I found that they were so different.
Yes.
Like you had a couple that were the same, and then all of a sudden it was like, whoa, she went in this direction. It's like, which gives me an incredible amount of hope as a somewhat traditionalist of James Bond, that she is not going to give us this, whoa, that's not James Bond, that it's more like, oh, you know what, she met us somewhere in the middle. I want something fresh and new, but I also want some of the tropes and sounds, like the orchestration of a Bond film.
Yeah. I feel it.
All right. So first of all, thank you for this introduction, a little bit behind the scenes. And you know, probably by the time we're done talking about this, her Instagram is going to go to 50 million. It's crazy, 50 million, that's insane.
Yeah, that's really great for her.
It is great. So do me this favor, get a commitment from you right now. When the Billie Eilish song breaks, usually it's a month before the movie debuts. Why don't you come back on, we'll listen to the song together, and we'll review it together. What do you think?
That sounds great. Yeah, I'd like to say I'm a longtime fan, but honestly,
of mine?
Oh yeah, well of course.
No, I didn't. of Billie Eilish. Yeah.
But you know, I think I've been listening to her since she was 16, so for about 2 years now. And I mean, every time she releases a new song, it's like it's breaking.
Yeah.
Because she does. I would say she doesn't have a ton of music, but everything that she's come out with, especially her newest song, has been like really awesome. So I'm looking forward to it.
Good. Well, you have gone a long way in making me hopeful. So maybe this was all part of the grand plan that, look, they obviously would get people your age group and younger interested, and your age group and younger would get people our age group interested, because you raise your hand and go, hey, Dad, check this out. Anyway, thank you very much. This has been Ella Zaritsky and David Zaritsky from the Bond Experience, and we'll see you real soon. Take care. Thanks for watching this episode. If you want to be up on the latest from the Bond Experience, just click on this subscribe and subscribe to our channel. You're going to get all the latest and greatest information, plus some exclusive content. And by the way, speaking of content, here's something especially for you, just because we know you. Talk to you soon.